Hey, what is up, guys? Basically, after the banned list got dropped on us, Cosmos didn't change that much actually. Besides, me having to find a substitute for Vanity's Emptiness and Maxi, there wasn't really much that I could say that changed. That's why I'm sticking to this format. I'm probably going to play at regionals. Besides my trolley Tempest Magician OTK deck, which I still haven't put up a video about that, but the only reason I haven't got around to that yet is because people don't like playing and waiting like half an hour for you to do a combo that wins. So I was wanting to show you 2 or 3 games of me doing that combo, but nobody wants to play, so that makes me sad. So until that happens, that video is going to be put on hold a little bit. But back to Cosmos, anyways. I changed it up a little, not a great deal. I just put a great trap line up, and just because my friend told me to, I run Kirin in this deck. So let's get started. To start off with, one Kirin. Yeah, just to say this deck runs Kirin. That's literally the only reason. The only reason I don't actually run Yaksha in place of this is because at times I don't have ships in my hand that I want to destroy, and this allows me to go into rank 3s at times. So it makes me extend my plays, and really, really good. 2 Ghost Ogre. I took out my Maxis and basically just bumped up Ghost Ogre to 2 because unfortunately as Maxis at 1 I don't particularly like running just one Maxi. I'd rather run more Ghost Ogres and more pilots and ship targets because Ghost Ogre is actually a good card, and initially it was like 2 Maxi, 1 Ghost Ogre, but I'm gonna have to bump up. I had to bump up Ghost Ogre to 2 because Maxi wasn't letting me draw into Ghost Ogre as much, just being on 1, so yeah. That's why 2 Ghost Ogre. 1 Dark Destroyer, no explanation needed. 1 Dark Eclipser. It searches anything in this deck that's a Kozmo, subtracting the spell and trap lineup when it dies, so it allows me to search Destroyer. At times it's a tactical play to leave Destroyer in deck because I can search it off this, so sort of good, sort of. Situational, very situational, but good. I'm not going to do the OCG thing where you run this at 3 because it's not as good at 3. It's perfectly fine at 1 in this. 2 Delta Shuttle. At times I prefer this over Slip Rider for the sole fact of if I have Cosmo Town and a way to get to Island in hand, I prefer this in hand because it allows me to bring back Dark Lady straight away as well as have floating ships. So it's like really good where you activate Island, blow this up, get Strawman. Strawman's effect send Dark Lady to grave, then blow it up to activate Town. Summon troopers to bring back Dark Lady, and if I've got anything else in hand, then it's like a bonus. So it's really good combo. It's good depending what you're going against, but having a floater and a way to negate monsters is really good. 1 Farm Girl for OTK, that's her only use. 1 Fault Runner because just to like sum up the big non-targetable ships, that's literally the only reason you run Fault Runner. And then 2 Slip Rider because I prefer running 2 Slip Rider over 3 because if I ran 3 Slip Rider, I'd have to take out one of the Delta Shuttles, and at times I actually prefer having Delta Shuttle in my opening hand more than Slip Rider. I have my the 3rd Slip Rider sided for when I go seconds because drawing into then having Slip Riders to blow up your opponent's back row is really good, but going first, you preferably want Delta Shuttle, so it's in my eyes it's best to run it at 2 and 2. 2 Stormtroopers, low targets, and it brings back Dark Lady. 2 Strawmen because with the 5 King combos, it's really good. Some builds run it at 3. I prefer to run it at 2 because I don't want to draw into it all the time. 2 Tin Can because Tin Can, you don't need to run more in this build. 1 Dark Lady because you never ran more than 1. If you do, in my eyes, you're a bad Cosmo player. And then to finish off the monsters, the Speed Ride Engine in Tectonborg and Terratop. This is basically used mainly to make Leviair, so that you can bring back some of your banished stuff. The only bad thing in this is if you do the Viking combo, it means that you have to normal the Terratop. But at times it's not that bad because it still gets you a free Leviair and a monster on top, so it's not that bad having to normal Terratop at times. And getting into the spells, 3 Allure of Darkness because Pot of Greed is like overrated in this deck because this is a better version of Pot of Greed because you get your draw 2 and then you get your card back to hand, so it might as well just be saying well, yeah, into an instant it is actually Pot of Greed because you're just plusing 2, but it's actually better in my eyes because you get to banish stuff and then levy your targets. So, yep, really good. One emergency teleport. This is mainly just used for either Tin Can, Farm Girl, or Ghost Ogre during my opponent's turn. At times I have actually had to go emergency teleport into Ghost Ogre when I was going up against Zoo, so that they wouldn't want to go into their Trident place straight away. They'd actually have to go straight into battle phase to get up the Ghost Ogre, so that they don't have to deal with it later, or force them to go into Macabre straight away. So yeah, that's why emergency teleport is so good. One Viking Island. People say to run this at 3 or more than one. I don't like running it in more than one because once you've done your combo, it's just a dead card in your deck because I don't run Emerald because I don't have the level 4 targets to make Emerald. So it's like pointless running more than one. And with 3 terraforming, you have a high chance of actually drawing into it. So it's like 3 terraforming plus the upstart and the Laws of Darkness, you have a really high chance of getting into this card in your open hand. So I don't see any reason to running more than one. 3 Kozmo Town, no explanation needed. 3 terraforming because this ratio with the field spell is actually really good because it lets you go into them straight away. And if you want to go into game 2 and side out the Viking engine, you just side out one of the terraformings, maybe 2 depending what you're siding in. But as you can see, no side deck here, so I can't really give any preference on that. And then 1 upstart. I took the Max C out instead of for upstart because half of the time when I actually tested with Max C, I'd either not draw it, or when I do, I'd only plus 1 card off it. So I'd rather want to run upstart so I can plus during my turn and then actually OTK my opponent. So yeah, that's my reasoning behind it. And then for the traps, 3 Call of the Haunted because it's amazing the amount of times I've not used Dark Destroyer's effect to banish to special just so I can actually call it back straight away is like phenomenally stupid, but it works, and I do it actually a lot more than you're supposed to in Cosmos, but it's me, and as my friends know, I'm a bad Yu-Gi-Oh player, but my luck helps me so much. 1 Cosmojo because in my eyes I don't need to run more than 1 Cosmojo. It's one of those cards that it's good at times, but not good at other times, so it's useful when it's useful and it's not when it's not. So that's why I only run it at 1. I'll probably side like a second Cosmojo depending on what I'm up against or what format it is. Probably this format I might side a Cosmojo, depends. And then to finish it off, 2 Oasis of Dragon Souls because bringing back ships is always good. It's basically like running 5 Call of the Hunters because I usually do this during opponent's end phase. And the best bit is if your opponent actually sides system down, Oasis is your best friend because they go system down. You can Oasis back any of your ships, mainly Dark Destroyer, and since it comes back as a worm type, system down doesn't work against it. So yeah. The extra deck, most of the extra decks actually filler besides like 5 monsters. So yeah, you can run whatever you want besides the monsters I say are a must, of course. Must run Breaksword because popping your field spell and popping opponent's card equals free advantage because popping Cosmo Town gives you free search into whatever you need, and then popping your opponent's back row. Who doesn't love popping opponent's back row? So like a must. Sky Cavalier is a must because it outs big stuff. The amount of times I've actually ended up going up against a Leo, and as you can see, there ain't really that many outs in this deck to a Leo, so Sky Cavalry is like my answer to it. 1 F0, I've never made this, so it's filler. It's there in case it's needed, but 99% of the time I haven't summoned it. Volcasaurus, filler, filler. Leviers is a must because you need 2 Leviers. 1 for the Terratop combos so that you can bring back your banished farm girls or any of your banished pilots except for Dark Lady. Shame she's not a level 4. You run actually 2 because the first one's usually made from the Speed Ride engine, and the second one you can actually make pretty easily from Stormtrooper and Stormtrooper. So it's actually worth running. 1 Herald of the Pure Light. This is mostly in my eyes filler. The amount of times I've actually summoned this is negligible. And the times that I do, it actually pluses because I've added Destroyer back, so it's good. But I wouldn't summon it unless you really need to. 1 Gaia Charger because I run the Volcasaurus, so it just like helps with 30Ks, but never summoned it. 1 Downed. I have actually summoned this. I usually go Levier detached to summon something and then Memphis 2 go to Downed, so I do actually use this quite often. one Phoenix, never used it. Nova Infinity combo, probably use it 4 out of 5 times because it's like really good. Surprisingly enough, I've rarely made this turn 1. I'd rather like spam the field out with about 3 or 4 pilots instead of making Infinity because I'd rather have the pilots on board for the fact of if my opponent kaijus me or tries to OTK me, I actually have a really big board out, and it's only being able to negate one thing isn't as good as it used to be, and the big beefy body isn't as good as it used to be because the amount of times I've gone up against a Grasses Greener deck, this is not that good. And then to finish off, one Ptolemy M7, which is filler. So yeah, thanks guys for watching as always. I'll probably put up a game of me using my Cosmos on here to just test out like the dueling bug because I've only built a deck on here. I haven't actually dueled on here. So I'll be signing out now. Peace.